I still got to redo my music. I'm going to redo it. I just haven't had the chance. It's been busy. So normally I come in and you hear my theme song. Okay, but hey, you may not get a theme song, but at least you got a nice branded view. And by the way, this is all Zoom native. So one of the things I'm going to do that I always talk about is share with you kind of the platform I'm on, what I'm doing, all that good stuff. One of the things I love to do in order to leverage Zoom, which is why I don't live stream with other types of platforms, is it's going to be recorded, transcribed, and previewed for me. Recorded, transcribed, and previewed for me. You may say, previewed? What the heck is she talking about? I'll answer that question in a second, but for right now, I'm going to go ahead and hit record. Okay, so now it's in record mode. Hello, Marquesa here, coming live to you from New York City. Okay, and I love to start it off by saying, waving hi to all the different places that are that I'm live streaming to. So I'm going to take 2 seconds to do that. Before I do that, if you're thinking to yourself, and I almost forgot, guys, now I go on Instagram Live when I'm doing this. So get this, I have this little thing here. Isn't that cool? Got my little phone here. It's not a little phone, but I got my phone here. And what I do is I open up Instagram Live so they're able to see me too. You may say, well, Marquesa, they're not going to be able to see your screen though. I have a whole strategy around that. So first, let me just go to my Instagram. I'm going to pull that up. I'm going to switch to the one with the most followers, if I can remember it here. By the way, if you want to join me right in this Zoom room and you're like, oh, I want to join, you want to be in my in-studio audience. I love to say that. It sounds so cool, doesn't it? If you want to be in my studio audience, please go to zoommybiztool.com. Again, that's zoommybiztool.com. Go there for me. Okay. I don't even know my own password. Drive myself crazy. May not be able to do it because I don't remember my password. Okay. Whatever. Okay. Okay. And if you do forget your password or something, they make it really easy for you to, kind of still get in there. Thank God, because I'm in the middle of something. Ain't nobody got time for the password. Okay. Here we go. I found it. Here we go. Okay. There we are. So I'm coming in right about now. Not now. Okay. Ooh. Am I in? I'm in. Yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the link and I'm going to go ahead and go live. This is part of the way that I do it. Normally it doesn't take me this long. If you want to see me on Instagram, feel free to go to Speaker Talk. If you want to see me on Instagram, normally I'll live stream from a different account, but I'm live streaming from Speaker Talk. Follow me anyway. But if you want to see me there or see how I do it, go to Speaker Talk. That's on Instagram. So I'm going to go ahead and hit live. Okay. And then I always like to look halfway decent. So I put on my, ooh, I don't like that one. Put on I know you're like, Marquesa, do you realize you're trying to put on a filter and we got to go. Only me. Okay. So I'm looking weird now. Let me do this. Okay. I got to stop with the filters. Okay. So let me go ahead and hit live. Okay, good. You are now live. Hey, come on Instagram ones. So I'm on Instagram Live. Now I'm going to go to, I use Restream. So I'm going to go to Restream and check it out and see who's there and what you're doing and, kind of give you a virtual hug, that kind of thing. So I'm hot. Yeah, here we go. Woo. All right, here we go. Okay, so here we go. Yes, I'm live right there. Hello, y'all. How you doing? Okay, let me get over here. So I am streaming. I see on Twitter. Hey, Twitter followers, how you doing? I'm also Speaker Talk on Twitter. Facebook, I've been a few places on Facebook, also YouTube, as well as LinkedIn. How you guys doing? It's so good to see you. Now, if you want to comment and ask a question or anything like that, please go to zoommybiztool.com, and there's several links in there. And one of the links brings you right into my audience, live studio audience, brings you right in, okay? Or you can go to the Facebook group, and that link is in there too. I'm learning how not to give you guys so many links, just one, zoommybiztool.com. Okay, all right, so let me back up. Today, I want to talk about a mistake. I mean, it's a big mistake, and I really want to do what I can to stop you from making this mistake. So who's ready to hear the mistake? By the way, guys, I see you here. I see my live studio audience attendees. How are you doing? I see you, Andrew. How you guys doing? Good, good, good. So you are making a bad mistake, and I want to stop you from doing it. It hurts my heart. And when something hurts my heart, you know, and guys, this mistake is not gonna necessarily hurt your world, but I do think it's gonna limit your business world. It may not hurt your world, but I do think it's gonna limit your business world. So in other words, you may not be able to have the connection you want when you're on Zoom. You may not be able to, you know, up level those income streams. You may not, again, I say may, you may not be able to influence the way you want to without doing this without stopping this mistake. So I'm glad you're here, because I'm telling you, too many people are making it, and, you know, I don't like it. I feel like it's my responsibility to stop you from making this mistake. So I'm going to go ahead and check into my Zoom, leveraging Zoom group. Guys, if you're there, make sure you say hi to me. I also like to give shout outs to folks that text me in the group. So if you're there, say hi to me. I see that you're watching in the Facebook group, so feel free to say hi or ask your question. Here we go. Okay, I kind of like to do it as a test, because I have a lot of Zoom stars, and I'm going to see how cool, how much you know. So here's my question. What if you meet people on the same day, kind of back to back to back? Does anyone do that? Let me know, guys, in the chat or in Q&A if you do this. Do you ever have back to back meetings, talks? I don't care what it is when you're on Zoom. Do you ever do that? That's my question. Do you ever have back to back meetings? You know, I was on the phone with my PR agency. It's not mine, they're my PR people, the other day. And it's so funny because I called them out. I said, "You're making a mistake." And they were like, "Excuse me?" I said, because here's an example of them making a mistake here. They did not have on the waiting room. Now, I know you guys know that I love to talk about the waiting room, right? The waiting room, my friend, saves you time. It brands you. It also acts as an assistant. Just pretend like you're a doctor. You know, what happens when you go to a doctor's office? You just walk into the patient room and, you know, sit down and throw in your gown. Is that how we do it? No, we do not, right? We go, we sit in the waiting room, right? The assistant will call us in when the doc is ready for us. Well, you know what? I think we're pretty, you know, our schedule is pretty important too. And Zoom has provided us a waiting room. So use it like a doctor would. You know what I mean? To me, it's not an option. It's an automatic, my dear. And here's a little side note. Use the waiting room, and you don't need to use the passcode, because that's a lot for your participants to remember. So just use the waiting room, okay? So let's go back to the back-to-back meetings. And I'm gonna see if you guys know the answer to this. How can you use your waiting room when you have back-to-back meetings? Can anyone answer that question for me? How can you use your waiting room if you have back-to-back meetings? And once you answer that question, then I can go ahead and let you know the mistake you're making, baby, and what it's costing you. So let me see what I got here. Let me know in the chat room. You know the answer to this? Let me know. And also, guys, don't forget, I am looking here on, I'm also looking here in the Facebook group. So let me know what you think. Now, if you don't put anything, I'm assuming you just don't know. You don't know the answer to that, and that's okay. That's why you're here to learn. You're here to learn about how to make this work. So let me know again, if you want to talk to me, you can be a part of my studio audience by going to zoommybiztool.com, and there is a Zoom link in there, and you'll come right into my studio audience, okay? Or you can go, and on that same page, you'll see the Facebook group link as well, okay? I just want to send you one place. All right. Okay, so here is, oh, it looks like I got something in chat. Give me a second. I want to see what it is. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, guys, if you can't, I apologize. Yeah, give me a second here. Okay, give me a second. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, guys, chat, you can chat now. I'm sorry about that. You can chat now. Sorry about that. Chat was disabled. Okay, gotcha. So it's back on. All right, so let me know what your answer is in terms of, what was my question? If you have back-to-back Zoom meetings, you know, what can the waiting room do for you? So here's your answer. Pull out a little pen and paper. It's not as hard as you think it is. It becomes your communications tool. I know you're like, what? It becomes your communication tool. So let's say that I'm on with Jeffrey, but then I have Andrew in my waiting room. And maybe Jeffrey, me and Jeffrey's Zoom meeting is going a bit over, okay? And, you know, I got Andrew who's waiting to come in. Well, that for me, that can become distracting. I can start to feel a little anxious because I got somebody waiting, right? So what I'll do is use my waiting room as a communications tool. And I will message Andrew, I see you in the waiting room. Just give me about 2 more minutes to wrap up and I'll be right with you. And then I can let Jeffrey know, Jeffrey, let me just text, since we're going a bit over, let me just text Andrew who's in my waiting room. So smart, because if you don't have the waiting room on, the person doesn't hear from you, they start to say, oh, well, did she forget? You know, they become a little offended, whatever the case may be. So it's a communications channel. So by not using it, in my opinion, you're really hurting yourself. I don't know why you'd want to, but you're kind of hurting yourself there. So it's a communications channel. And I know you're like, wait a minute, Marquesa, I can chat with someone in a meeting, but they're in my waiting room. Absolutely. Right in the section where it says chat, there is an option to chat with people in the waiting room. That's how that works. Okay. So stop that mistake. I don't want to hear it. You heard it from Marquesa, you know, Miss Zoom Queen herself. You heard me say it. Turn on that waiting room. No need. And here, for security measure, the waiting room can also replace the passcode. You don't need both because that can be confusing to people. Okay. So fantastic. I'm so proud of you guys. Here's another mistake. So the mistake is not using it as a communications tool. Okay. Another mistake that I feel like you're making, business owners, speakers, experts, authors, coaches, you're missing out on branding yourself. You are. You're not branding yourself. I don't know about you, but any opportunity on any platform, you know, where I can brand myself and I don't have to pay extra, why wouldn't I want to? You know, in other words, I can put my business name out there. I could put my logo. I could do a short little video. Brand yourself. Go into your settings in the chat, in the waiting room section, and you'll see all the options there. You can do a 60-second video. You can upload a logo. And here's something else too. Remember we talked about communications earlier. You can also have, whether you choose whether it's going to be a graphic or a video, that's fine. But in addition to that, you can put a little message there. So let's say that you have a meeting that happens every week, right? And people aren't quite sure if they're in the right place, you know? You can always put, you're in the right place. We're going to be starting soon. Just give us a couple of minutes to let you in, you know? So again, it becomes a billboard for you. Isn't that fabulous? Okay. It's a great branding tool. I can't say that enough. Okay. I love when people come into my waiting room and I blow them away with a little video. So it's really, really cool. So you want to use it as a branding tool. Let me see if I have any questions. Andrew says, yep, you can do a 30 megabyte video to promote or tell about the meeting. Can you let everyone in at one time? Absolutely. That's another concern. Oh, I don't want to be distracted. You can let everybody in at one time. Another thing you can do too is maybe there's a student or somebody in your group that you can make co-hosts that can also let people in. You know what I mean? And it stops the wrong people from crashing your Zoom situation. Okay. All right. And how do you let someone in? Well, here's the thing. When you're the host and you're dealing with the waiting room, you'll see all those options in your dashboard. You'll see all those options in your dashboard. And when it'll be like a little thing that pops up and tells you who's in the waiting room, and it will give you an option to either bring in one person at a time or bring in everyone. So that happens right when you're in that process. Okay. All right. Cool. This is exciting. So you learn a couple of things. So stop with the mistakes, y'all. Stop with the, not enabling your waiting room. Stop missing the branding opportunity. That just hurts my heart. And let me just add something extra on to the branding opportunity. Remember I said that you could write a little message there? I love to provide a message where people can get their hands on my lead magnet. I call it a pink spoon. That means a sample of my expertise. And in exchange, they're giving me their email address. And I'm assuming they want to hear from me. And I can now stay in communication with them, which is important to do. Hey guys, oh my gosh, I'm so funny. Oh my goodness. Hey, I'm sorry, guys. I was so not paying attention to Instagram. If you're on Instagram and you want to see my screen, please go to zoommybiztool.com. Matter of fact, I can pin it. Type this in. I'm going to do this here. zoommybiztool.com. I know I sound like a first grader, right? Okay, so I'm going to hit post, and then I'm going to go ahead and pin that sucker. I just pinned that comment. If you go there, it gives you an option to join my studio audience right here in Zoom. So if you want to join my studio audience, which allows you to communicate with me, and by the way, you can communicate with me on here, on Instagram, but if you want to see my screen, join my computer, join my studio audience right here on Zoom by going to that link. Isn't that cool? You can also communicate with me in the Facebook group, okay? All right. What was I saying? Okay, so let me finish out my thought. You can create a little note that shows up in your waiting room along with your graphic or your video. And what I do is I'll say to people, hey, I want to give you a mini, if you want a mini Zoom business makeover, go to, and I put it in there, liveyourbestbusinessvirtually.com. Go there and start your mini makeover. It goes over 3 days. I got handouts. By the end of that, you will be using Zoom completely differently. So go get that Zoom mini makeover. That's real, by the way. You can go to, and by the way, if you go to that same page, I believe there's a link to it on there, but you can put something like that or a really short version of that right there. Because I don't know about you, but when I'm in a waiting room with a doctor at a doctor's office, I cannot wait to find a magazine that I'm going to take home with me. I love it, especially the fashion ones. I'll find the magazine. It is so funny because I'll find it and I'll get into it and they'll say, Miss Patley. And I'm like, okay, so I'll just pick up the magazine and take it with me. And I'm right in their faces. I know I'm terrible. I'm a waiting room magazine thief. But anyway, let me move on. Okay, so I've already discussed what you can do. Here, communication center. Stop not using it as a communication center. Stop not branding yourself. Stop not, is that even a phrase? Stop not, I don't know. No longer do I want you to not use it, okay? And it is a great security measure where you do not need the passcode. Yes, okay, very good. So what else can you do with the waiting room to stop you from making the mistake of not using it? It's so many things, but I'm gonna just mention a few. Kathy says, will you be sending the recording for this session? Well, actually, if you miss the live stream, it's depending on where you're watching me, it's gonna save there. That's one of the advantages of this. I would love to say, Kathy, I'm gonna send it out, but more likely I'll never get around to it. So if you go to zoommybiztool.com, you'll see a link for the Facebook group just with Zoom folks in it. Guys, it's the best darn Facebook group on the planet, all about Zoom. Make sure you go in there. If you go in there, I'm live streaming right there now, and you can rewatch this, go in there and take notes, all that good stuff. But what I will try to do, since it is being transcribed, I will try to put this in the members portal. Okay, very good. Andrew says, can you set up a library to choose from? I don't know what you mean by that. Can you set up a library to choose from? Well, you can, but remember you have a limited amount of words that you can put in your waiting room. So if there's a library of things that I want people to go to, I'm going to give them one URL to go there, and then they can, search further once they get through that link. Kind of think of it like Instagram or anything else. Okay. Fantastic. Any questions? Oh my God, some questions. So again, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram Live, 3 places on Facebook. I've lost count how many different places I go to. Okay, let me see. I got about 6 more minutes. So I want to share 2 more tips so you can stop making the mistake of not leveraging your Zoom room. I want to share one other mistake that I think you guys are making. You ready for me? What's another? Okay, good. Thank you guys. If you want to, thank you so much. Kathy just joined the Facebook group. So again, if you go to zoommybiztool.com, you'll see all those links in there, okay? By the way, I need to say this before I give you guys 2 more tips. You have an opportunity to really get hands-on, because I go even deeper when you're a member of my club, to get even more hands-on. In August, I'm going to do a deep dive, kind of like a master class, but only members will be invited to this, okay? I got some pretty awesome things up my sleeve. And now that we're at the end of the month, this is a fantastic time for you to make sure that you are a member of Marquesa's Virtual Business Club, okay? So if you're looking at my screen, you can see that the domain is right there. If you're on Instagram, I'm going to type it in. It is virtualbiz.club. Virtualbiz.club. That's it. That's the site. Okay. Go right there, virtualbiz.club, and you'll see all the details. You'll get a mini makeover, a private mini makeover from me. Guys, do I need to say how much people pay just to have a full VIP day with me? It's in the thousands, okay? So to get that mini makeover, just you and me for 45 minutes. Matter of fact, I don't know if Lisa's still on, but Lisa just had hers and loved it. It really changed the game for her. Hey, Michael, it's so good to see you. I'm Michael Drummond. So join, guys. It's only $97. And then as an exclusive member benefit, you can upgrade, you can add on, I should say, a Zoom Enterprise license if you choose, okay? So again, join the Virtual Business Club. Something else I was trying to do. Oh yeah, so I want to go to the last 2 things. Let me see if I have any questions or thoughts. in the waiting room. I love to see what you guys are saying. Andrew says, what I mean is one time might be a meeting, another time might be a special workshop. I would want to have the WR messaging appropriate for the meeting. Oh, the wording appropriate for the meeting. Okay. I mean, you can do whatever it is you want to do, my dear. Whatever you want to do is fine. But let me just finish this, and I may promote you to kind of get a better understanding of what your question is. So let me finish this off. Also, please stop making this mistake, because it really, I think, diminishes your impact when you're in a Zoom meeting. Stop letting everybody in at different times. In other words, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Stop just letting people in. In other words, it's 3 o'clock and everybody just starts coming in, and that's it. To me, you're creating the wrong energy. And now that people attend so many virtual meetings, they're starting to get a little stagnant. And what they may or may not do is, oh yeah, I got to hop on this meeting. Let me just, get on there. And they may or may not be engaged. And it frustrates speakers, presenters, and facilitators that are on these virtual platforms, and they see a bunch of photos instead of people's real face. So one of the things I do to take that energy to the next level, even before the meeting starts, guess what I do? To take that meeting to the next level. Oh, wait a minute. I started at 2:30. Guys, I have more time. I'm sorry. I'm so confused. But I'm going to tell you something I'm going to do. I'm like, why is my time off? Anyway, let me go back to, so I hate when I do that because then I forget what I was talking about. Dang it. What was I just talking about? Oh, okay. So what I love to do in order to make sure that the energy is great, I leave everyone in the waiting room. Okay. It's different for office hours and things of that sort. But if there's some type of presentation or guest meeting or masterclass or anything like that, unless I'm doing it on Zoom webinar, what I'll do is put everyone in the waiting room. Okay, let them stay in the waiting room. And then I make sure I may do a special video. Hey, I see you out there. I see you out there. You are in for the best masterclass where I'm going to dive deep on X, Y, and Z. Oh my goodness, get ready now. You're going to have to turn off Netflix because you're going to get into this. Here's a quick request. Can you do me a favor and just prepare to be on camera? You don't have to be cover girl. You don't have to do any of that. You don't even have to be dressed to kill. I just want to see your eyeballs because it makes me feel precious. So do some silly video that's going to get people's attention while they're in the waiting room, and then let them know I'm going to let you all in at the same time. And then you know what I do? I turn on some music. I do. I'm not going to do that right now. But I turn on some music because it pumps up my energy too. Then I let everybody come in on the music. Hello. And I normally have a slide up sometimes if I need to give them specific instructions as they come in. It's a stage. Zoom is not just it's not a platform. It's your stage. It's your office. It's your studio. It's your classroom. Respect it, baby. All right. So stop with the, lowering the energy. Remember, I'm all about helping you elevate your impact, your income, and your influence when you're using Zoom. So if you're just joining me, feel free to go to Zoom, mybiztool.com, so that you can join my studio audience right here. I'd love to see you. Give you a shout out. So I have some folks in my studio audience now, and I do have a little bit more time. I got confused. I forgot I just joined at 2:30, so I got a little bit more time. But let me just review with what I've already shared. Stop making the mistake of not leveraging your Zoom waiting room, okay? It's not just for the doctors, baby. It's for us as well. It just gives your business that professionalism, right? And it impresses, right? So enable the waiting room. So stop that mistake. Number 2, I said, make sure you use it as a communications tool. So if you're behind or whatever. You can just communicate with people right inside your live Zoom to the people in the waiting room. Okay. Use it as a communications tool. Another thing I said, branded, baby, branded. Ain't you a business? Branded. Whether it's a quick little video that you can upload or it's a graphic of some sort. And then don't forget to put a nice note with a call to action within that note. Okay. And then the third thing, I may be forgetting something. Another thing I said was, you know, bring in people, pump up the energy. But if it's a more of a training or event or something like that, and bring everybody into music, it just sets the tone. It gets people excited, and do that personal video regarding their particular event. Oh, I tell you, I love myself the waiting room. Okay, so I want to see what tips, what questions you have. I would love to promote one of my audience members. Guys, raise your hand if you want to be promoted. I'd love to promote you guys. And you guys can see a little trick that I do when I promote people. Hey, Peter. Hey, Dee, Kimberly. So many people. Hello. Oh, good. It's so cool. Hi, guys. They're probably like, she's never on here, so. But I'm so happy to be here. I'm going to check. Guys, if you're in my Facebook group, please let me know you're here. Say hi, ask your question. If you have a thought, I shared quite a bit right there. If you have a thought or a question, please talk to me. Let me know. This is a great time for me to address that question. Okay. Okay, let me just see. Let me see. Okay, let me just see something here. Okay, so I'm trying to see if there's any other questions. So Andrew, I'm going to go ahead and promote you because I know that you had a question. And guys, if you're wondering, how is she doing all that on Zoom and she's not using anything else? I talked about that last week. If you actually want to see all my recordings together, make sure you go to zoommybiztool.com and then just go to my YouTube page. Don't worry, you know, it's going to be elevated in terms of branding very soon, but all of these videos are there, okay, in the live video section. So if you want to see them back to back, or you can just join the Facebook group. It doesn't matter. All the links are right there at Zoom My Business Tool, but I did 2 or 3 live sessions on how to get, you know, how to brand your very own Zoom room. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. So let me go ahead and promote you, my darling. Okay. Let me know if I can promote you guys. You can even put in the chat room if you want. So Andrew, I'm going to go ahead and promote you. Kathy, do you want to be promoted? Michael, do you want to be promoted? If you don't, just say you don't, you know what I mean? But I don't want to catch you off guard. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Okay, fantastic. Now here's a little tip about, oh, good. It's telling me that I'm going over my limit, but okay, gotcha. All right, guys. One of the things I wanted to mention was, hey, when someone comes on your branded Zoom, okay, one of the things you can do is I can brand them. I can put something, I can have their name show up a little differently, you know, so I can literally go click these 3 dots. You can't see, come on back on, Kathy. I want to see your pretty face. Now come on back. Okay, so what I'm going to do is Andrew is one of my VBC members. And Andrew, you're also a part of Bring the Bold think tank, which, by the way, we're going strong starting next month. Bring the Bold think tank, which is it's a mastermind for advanced Zoomers or people that are really good with technology. But more information will be coming out about that. Bring the Bold think tank, baby. So I'm putting that in there for you, and I'm going to hit apply. And you'll see what I just did. Look at that. You see what I just did? So I just branded Andrew. If you are somewhere where you're not seeing my screen, feel free to go to zoommybiztool.com and join my studio audience. You'll see a Zoom link in there, okay? All right, Kathy. I got to give Kathy some. Kathy, how many years have you known me? We've known each other. You're muted. Unmute yourself.
Probably about 20 or.
It's been a very long time.
Yeah.
Very long time. So
Yeah.
good. I'm so glad you're here. So good to
If
see
I had
you.
known
Lovely.
I would be on camera, I would have not worn my
You,
whole.
you, you look beautiful. You look beautiful. I love it. You look fabulous. All right, Andrew, share with me what was your question, or what were you, if you guys have any thoughts related to what I already spoke about, which is really leveraging your waiting room. So Andrew, you wanted to say something about that?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. The question was, when you go into Zoom, the page that you have there, it allows you to select prior Zoom meetings that you were in. So you go in and then you pull out the meeting that you want to go to, and it then puts it in and you go to that meeting. So my question was, it takes a little bit of effort to do the Zoom rooms to create
Yeah.
that 60-minute thing. I was wondering if you can create multiple templates and then put it in a library so that when you're doing your recurrent meetings of a certain type, you can go to that library and pull out those Zoom rooms. Is there a place where they do that?
I lost you. I have no idea what you're talking about. You
Okay,
saying,
let me get very concrete.
all right.
You're doing a workshop
Yeah.
that is recurrent,
Yeah.
but then you're doing a regular Zoom meeting that has nothing to do with that other
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah.
And I want to have a matching of the waiting room for the meeting that we're having at that
Oh,
time. So
okay.
if you
Gotcha.
have a whole bunch of templates that represent different meeting waiting room uh, views,
Yeah.
is there a way of doing that? Or do you
No.
have to just do it each
No.
time
No,
when
you
you
just
do
have
it?
to change it out. Yeah, you're gonna have to change it out. Unless, guys, you know what? They change it up all the time. I would definitely submit that to Zoom. What he's saying is, all right, what if I want to put a video message or a logo? Maybe I have workshops on Tuesdays and something else on Thursdays. Is there a way that I can shift the template? That's a really good question, Andrew. But as far as I know, not right now, but they should definitely do it for us. That makes perfect sense to me. Yeah. Good idea, though. Definitely submit that. Andrew is a doctor, y'all, so he's just naturally brilliant, so he can't help himself. Kathy, my dear, did you have a question or a thought or anything like that?
I'm a newbie. I'm excited. This is my first time on here. I've had it for a year and didn't know what was available to me. So I'm still learning, and I'm doing Zoom, doing the virtual space. I'm new to the virtual space relatively since the pandemic. I know there are people who know how to do the bells and the whistles and all that. And you've been doing this stuff for years. I remember seeing your first video like 20 years ago. And it's like, but I didn't do that. I didn't keep up with the tech. And so I'm really excited to be here now. I'm excited to be learning from you, and can't wait to see what's next, because all this is new to me. The branding, the things that you're saying, stop making this mistake. I imagine that there are people who do it. I got a background. That's my tech.
Hey, I love it. It's nice though. It's clear, because a lot of people have that and it doesn't look that good, but yours looks really good. I love it.
Two, I have one for, let me just show you. And this was my big, well, I don't see it here. I have one for, oh, I see what's happening. This is another one that I use. And so that's my big technology leap.
Okay. Now that one is harder for me to see. Yeah. But the other one I really, really liked. And guys, you can create these beautiful backgrounds in Canva. You can also go and buy a Zoom background. Or even go to Upwork and someone can create you a customized background. And what you see behind you is wallpaper. So it's a lot of, I keep forgetting there's a way for me to brand the wall, for me to brand it where Zoom doesn't show up anymore. I'm going to do that. Probably in August, I'll do it. Okay. I've been getting a little busy. So I'll probably do it in August. Huh?
Sorry. And you were saying you can take the Speakerpreneur out and put something else in my
Yes and no, but that's for members only. what she's talking about is my link is branded. Like if
Oh,
you notice
okay.
with this
This is a
one, it
different-
says the branded link for this particular one is Virtual Biz Club. That's in front of the word Zoom. So if you have an upgraded type of account with me, you can indeed put your own name there. Just starting that in August. So that's a big announcement. And then number two, no, if you have a normal regular Zoom Enterprise account with me, which is already an upgrade in itself, you can have the Speakerpreneur removed starting next month, but we can't put anything else there. That's only if you have administrative access. And in order to do that, that's a upgrade. But we can talk about that more, offline. Absolutely. All right, guys, I went about 45 minutes. I hope that you got something out of this, but most importantly, stop making the mistakes. And here's another tip, by the way. If you want to hear about 6 more mistakes you may be making, please go to, and write this down, liveyourbestbusinessvirtually.com. liveyourbestbusinessvirtually.com. Yes, it's right under my face right there. Go there and you'll see a special little virtual, I call it my strategic virtual makeover. And I give it to you over 3 days with some wonderful handouts. And you thought I gave you a lot here, you get even more there. You may even hear me mention one of the things I just mentioned. So go in there and stop making those mistakes, because when you make those mistakes, you are limiting your impact, your influence, and yes, my dear, your income. Okay. So it's been my pleasure. They do call me Zoom Queen. I'm just saying.
You are the Zoom Queen. You are the Zoom Queen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sweetie. Thank you, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye, everyone. Bye, Instagram Live. Okay,
Do you have
good.
any other sessions today?
Oh, let me stop the recording before you start throwing questions at me. Let me stop the recording, and then let me stop